Hi, I'd like to welcome you to the second edition of the Dog Pound Weekly. We'd like to update our game a little bit. I've got three young men sitting beside me. Garrett Primer, a defensive lineman from Madison High School, Dan Fanzo from Cheney High School, and Dominic Harper from Kenmore High School in Akron. We wanted to. These three young men are with us because Garrett was our defensive line MVP during the game. He was our overall game MVP during the game this week. And Dan Fanzo was our most valuable offensive lineman during the game this week. And Dominic Harper was our most valuable defensive back. They all had outstanding games and definitely deserve to be here. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about what they accomplished in just a few minutes. This week we played Westminster College. We lost 28-0. During this game we learned a lot about ourselves. Number one, we need to establish an identity on both offense, defense, and special teams and continue to grow in each one of those roles. And what kind of offense are we going to be? What kind of defense are we going to be? Where can we improve upon our special teams? It was a painful loss, but there was a lot to be gained and a lot to be learned. I think we shot ourselves in the foot so many times throughout the course of the game, and now what we're looking for between week 1 and week 2 is constant improvement. But Garrett Primer was our defensive line MVP, and like I said, our game overall MVP. Had a couple big sacks. He had a couple tackle for losses. Really anchored well in his first game as a Hiram Terrier. Garrett, what did you think about your performance and the team's performance on Saturday?
Well, you can't be happy with a loss, first of all. But you take the good things that you did. You watch the film over and over again, find out your strengths and weaknesses, and you learn how to get better after that.
Dan, you came back from last year's game not feeling very well about your performance and actually played pretty poorly in your standards last year against Westminster. You bounced back and had a tremendous game, graded out at over 82%, really led the offensive line with some great calls and things like that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your performance and how you felt about it?
Well, I felt, our offense is getting better and better every day. We're like, 2 mistakes a day from just becoming a solid offense. I think, losing obviously is not a good thing, but we got a little better, I think, as a unit. I think some little offensive mistakes that we got to fix up, but once we do that, I think we should be all right.
Thanks, Dan. Dominic moved out to corner from safety last year. He's our boundary corner. It's usually our most talented corner on the field and has true natural corner instincts and everything that you want in that boundary corner. Dominic played a great game on Saturday, came up with a big interception down in the red zone going in, and also had several tackles throughout the course of the game and played real solid. Dominic, why don't you tell us about your performance?
I think overall I did okay. I know I got trouble a little bit for lining up in the wrong yard line. But I think as a team overall we did okay. I mean, we got a lot of stuff that we need to get taken care of now. I hope we just learn from our mistakes and come out ready to play.
Thanks. I think that Dominic hit it right on the head. The key to the week is making sure that we do correct our mistakes. We know mistakes are going to be made, but it comes down to how willing are we to learn from those mistakes and make ourselves better throughout the course of this week. As we get ready for Case Western, we're not really worried as much about Case Western as we are about improving ourselves and getting ready to play this week. We have to get a lot better on each phase of the ball game. As I take a look at Case Western, I want to talk about a very good football team. I believe they were 9-1 last year. They're 1-0 right now. They beat an Ohio Athletic Conference team, Marietta, this weekend, and it looked very good in doing it. They won their game 26-23. They have a senior talented quarterback. They have a couple linebackers and a defensive lineman and a safety that are very good on defense that will definitely get after you. They're a 4-4 style defense. And on special teams, the one thing that Case has always been is very well coached on special teams. So Case is going to provide us with a big challenge, but as I mentioned before, not as worried about the Case game per se, as I am making improvement from week 1 to week 2. And then we start conference play the following week against Kenyon College. Some things, events that parents and alumni need to be kept aware of this week. We have our alumni weekend for the football team. We're going to celebrate and maybe present the 1982 team with some championship rings. We also have a tailgate after our game that our parents have volunteered. I want to remind the parents to make sure that they are up to date with that. Mrs. Moran has been sending emails out and with what to bring and what you volunteered to bring, and I'd like to make sure that we keep that up to date and going so that we're ready after the game to tailgate. And then we also will need some parents to sell 50-50 tickets and also to sell programs on Saturday night's game. Please contact me via email, ra@hiram.edu, if you are willing to do either one of those two things. I'd like to get all that set and established by Friday of this week. We really appreciate the support. We had a great fan base out at the game against Westminster. It's going to be a big crowd here this Saturday night, and we can't be any more excited to get into a week of practice and get better, as these young men have talked about, learning from their mistakes, getting better, and improving, and getting ready to go out and play Case Western at 7 o'clock Saturday, September 8th.